Welcome students. Today we will discuss second part of the chapter The Living World from class 11th biology chapter 1. In the previous video we have already discussed what are the characteristic features of living organisms. Now in this part we will discuss why it is necessary to classify organisms and taxonomical categories. So let's start today's topic. Needs for classification of living organisms. Living organisms have evolved on the earth over millions of years. There is a vast variety of living organisms present on the earth, which shows great variation from each other. For example, some microscopic organisms like bacteria, viruses, protozoans are of a few micrometer in size, while some other organisms like blue whale, redwood pine trees are about 30 to 100 meters in size. Some pine trees live for thousands of years, while insects like mosquitoes, butterflies die within a few days. Some organisms are colorless and even transparent, and some are brightly colored. To understand and study all these organisms is very difficult. If they are arranged into different groups based on their similarities in characteristic feature, then it is easier to study the different groups as a whole. Therefore, we classify living organisms. The arranging of organisms into different groups on the basis of their similarities in characteristic features is called as the classification of living organisms. Why do we classify living organisms? Because to organize organisms into groups that have biological meanings made study easier so that we can understand the interrelationship between the different groups of organisms. Taxonomy. The branch of biology which deals with the study of identification, nomenclature, and classification of organisms on the basis of their characteristic features is called as the taxonomy. Carolus Linnaeus is known as the father of taxonomy. Nomenclature and identification. An organism is known by different names in different languages, and it would be impossible for any person to remember the names of an organism in all the languages. Hence, there is a need for a uniform system of nomenclature of organisms. A uniform system of nomenclature and identification helps the scientist in systematic study of living beings. The naming of living organisms, such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This process is called nomenclature. Nomenclature of organisms is only possible when the organism is described correctly and we know to what organism the name is attached to. This procedure is known as the identification. In order to facilitate the study, number of scientists have established procedures to assign a scientific name to each known organism, which is acceptable to all the biologists all over the world. For plants, scientific names are based on agreed principle and criteria, which are provided in International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, and for animal, it is International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. One such system which is universally accepted by the scientists for the nomenclature of living organisms is binomial nomenclature, which is proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. According to him, the scientific name of each organism must consist of two names. First name is the name of the genus, and second name is the name of the species or a specific epithet to which the organism belongs. There are certain rules for the binomial nomenclature. These rules are: the scientific name of each organism must consist of two words. First name is the name of the genus and second name is the name of the species. The first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter, while the specific epithet starts with a small letter. It can be illustrated with the example of Mangifera indica, where Mangifera is the genus of this organism, while indica represents the species to which it belongs. Two different organisms cannot have the same name. The species name has to be different within the same genus. Some other conventions for the biological nomenclature of organisms are: the name of the author appears after the specific epithet. For example, at the end of the biological name, and it is written in an abbreviated form like Mangifera indica Linn. It indicates that this species was first described by Carolus Linnaeus. Since it is nearly impossible to study all the living organisms, it is necessary to devise some means to make this possible. This process is called as the classification, in which organisms are grouped in different categories based on their characteristic features. For example, we easily recognize groups such as plants or animals or dogs or cats or insects on the basis of their observable characteristic features. Taxonomical categories. Various steps of the classification hierarchy are called taxonomical categories. Each category represents a particular rank and is usually called as the taxon. Human beings have always been interested in knowing more and more about the various kinds of organisms, especially to the organisms of their own use. In earlier days, human beings needed to find source for their basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. Hence, the earliest classification were based on the uses of various organisms. Human beings were since long not only interested in knowing more and more about the different kinds of organisms and their diversities, but also the relationship among them. This branch of study was referred to as systematics. The word systematics is derived from the Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of organisms. Linnaeus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. Taxonomical studies of all known organisms have led to the development of common categories such as kingdom, phylum or division for plants, class, order, family, genus, and species. Kingdom is considered as the largest taxonomical categories, while species is considered as the basic unit of classification or the taxonomical categories. Now, what is species? A species is a group of organisms that can interbreed to produce fertile offsprings. Let us consider Mangifera indica, Solanum tuberosum, and Panthera leo. All the three names, indica, tuberosum, and leo, represent the specific epithet, while the first words Mangifera, Solanum, and Panthera are genera and represent another higher level of taxon or category. Each genus may have one or more than one specific epithet representing different organisms but having morphological similarities. For example, Panthera has another specific epithet called tigris, and Solanum includes species like Nigrum and Melongena. Human beings belongs to the species Sapiens, which is a group in the genus Homo. The scientific name thus for human being is written as Homo sapiens. The next taxonomical category is genus. A genus is a taxonomical rank comprised of species with some common attributes. In a genus, there are various species which are similar in some of the characteristic features, while they shows some of the differences in their characteristic features. For example, potato and brinjal are two different species, but both belong to the genus Solanum. Lion, Panthera leo, leopard, Panthera pardus, and tiger, Panthera tigris, with several common features, are all species of the genus Panthera. This genus differs from another genus, Felis, which includes cats. The next taxonomical category is family. Family is the taxonomical category which contain one or more related genera. All the genera of a family have some common features or correlated characteristic features. They are separable from genera of a related family by important and characteristic differences in both vegetative as well as reproductive features. Thus, the genera of cats, Felis, and leopard, Panther, are included in the family Felidae. The next taxonomical category is order. The category included one or more related families, which shows some common characteristic feature amongst the member. Thus, the family Solanaceae is placed in the order Polymoniales, along with four other related families, that is Convolvulaceae, Borgianaceae, Hydrophyllaceae, and Polymoniaceae. Similarly, the families Facidae and Canidae are included under the order Carnivora, along with Hyenidae, which includes hyenas, and Ursides, which includes bears. The next taxonomical category is class. A class is made up of one or more related orders which shows some common characteristic feature. On the other hand, they show some differences from each other. For example, class Dicotyledonea of flowering plants contains all dicots which are grouped into several orders like roselles, passiflorals, polymoniales, serpendales, renals, etc. Likewise, class Mammalian of animals include all mammals which range from bats order Chiroptera, kangaroos order Marsupialia, rodents order Rodentia, whales order Cetaceans, carnivores order Carnivora, to great apes and mens order Primate. The next taxonomical category is division or phylum. It is a category higher than that of a class. The term phylum is used for animals, while division is commonly employed for plants. A division or phylum is formed of one or more classes. The phylum chordate of animals contains not class mammalian but also aves, reptilia, amphibia, cyclostomata, chondrichthyes, ostrichthyes, etc. And the last taxonomical category, which is the highest taxonomical rank, is kingdom. All the plants are included in kingdom Plantae, while all the animals are included in the kingdom Animalia. Now, let us see some organisms with their taxonomical categories. Here we can see human beings. The common name is man. Their scientific or biological name is Homo sapiens, genus Homo, family Hominidae, order Primata, class Mammalia, phylum Chordata, and of mango, the biological name is Mangifera indica, their genus is Mangifera, family Anacardiaceae, order Sapindales, class Dicotyledone, and division Angiospermae. Now, we are moving on to the taxonomical aids. Taxonomical aids are the tools which us in proper identification and classification of living organisms. These are also fundamentals to study and essentials for training in systematics. It is used for classification of an organism, and the information gathered is also stored along with the specimens. In some cases, the specimen is preserved for future studies. Biologists have established certain procedures and techniques to store and preserve the information as well as the specimens. The first taxonomical aid is herbarium. Now, what is herbarium? Herbarium is the storehouse of plant specimens, where plant specimens are dried, pressed, and then preserved on paper sheets. These sheets are arranged systematically according to the universally accepted system of classification. Herbarium sheet contains information about the date and place of collection of that plant, the name of the collector, local and scientific name of the plant, and its proper classification. It provides quick referral system in taxonomical studies. The next taxonomical aid is botanical garden. A botanical garden is a place where plants are grown and displayed for the purpose of research and education. Each plant contains labels indicating their scientific name and family. Some famous botanical gardens are Indian Botanical Garden, Calcutta, National Botanical Research Institute, Lucknow, Garden of Medicinal Plants, North Bengal University, West Bengal, etc. The next taxonomical aid is museum. Museum is the place of collection of preserved plants and animal specimens for study and reference. Specimens are preserved in containers or jars in preservative solution and can be preserved as dry also. Insects are preserved in insect boxes after collecting, killing, and pinning. Large animals are stuffed and preserved. The next taxonomical aid is zoological park. Zoological park is the place where wild animals are protected under similar to their natural habitat. It provides opportunity for studying the behavior and food habit of the animals. Some famous zoos in India are Zoological Park, Mysore, Nehru Zoological Park, Hyderabad, Trivandrum Zoo, and Chennai Zoo. The next taxonomical aid is key. Keys are used for the identification of plants and animals based on similarities and dissimilarities. Keys are analytical in nature and based on contrasting characters in a pair called couplet. Out of two proposed characters, only one which is relevant is accepted while the other is rejected. Each statement in a key is called a lead. Separate taxonomical categories or the keys are required for each taxonomical category, such as family, genus, order, and species. There are some other taxonomical aids which help in the identification and classification of organisms. These are flora, manuals, monographs, and catalogs. They help in correct identification of different living organisms. Manuals provide information for identification of names of various species in a given area, while monographs contain information on any particular taxon. Okay student, now we are through with the chapter 1. In the next video, we will discuss second chapter, biological classification. Till then, stay tuned and thank you.